Good day to you people. This is Sam, South Carolina Happy Bees. We're going to be checking this hive number 108 East fence today. It has a super on it here, and we're going to check and see if they're doing anything with it. They haven't been. We've had it moved from the bottom to the middle to the top. They didn't have much of a honey flow, so that could have been the reason for it not doing a whole lot. Come on, little girl. There you go. Little bees are funny when they figure out they can fly. Yeah, we're gonna take the feeder ring here out. I mean the feeder ring. And it's got bees on it. Stick it there. We're going to take their feeder off and their waterer off. No bugs, no bugs. This one here, if y'all want to see how we doing on this thing, you can look at the playlist 108 East fence. This is a frame, store-bought frame. And they're building it out. Stick it right there. This one here is a store-bought frame that has some honey on it. No bugs. We got another honey flow coming, so we'll be okay. Here's the store-bought frame that part of it broke off, and they're building out on it pretty good. Not putting anything in it yet, but they're building it out. This one here is a store-bought frame. And it has honey on it. This is frame probably that was in one of the deep boxes that I put up here. And they're building that out good. This is one of our frames, and they've got a little bit on it, but not much. This one here, they're building out real good. Nothing in it, but it's built out. That's an older frame, I'm sure. This one they're building out. That one they're building out. Nothing's on them. But they have a couple of frames in here that's got... They know this top is theirs now. Not like it's all empty frames. They know it's theirs, so they know they can come up and work on it if they have the nectar. Resources is all they need. Okay, let's go down to deep box here. If I can get this one off. There we go. I've seen some people that they have to use a chisel and a hammer to get their boxes separated. And those are the people that they don't go in their hive very often. Me, I go to my hives. I try to get to them at least once every 2 weeks. This one here was about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half. This is the foundation. That there was something wrong with the foundation they built, and I cut most of it out. I left a little strip across the top and little strips down the side, and they'll get it. No bugs. This one here they're building out, it has some nectar in it. They're building it and it has a little nectar. And y'all can go back to, like I say, playlist and see how much these grown or declined. This one here has a little bit of brood, a little bit of honey, a lot of nectar. This one here, the same thing on this side. On your left side up here is brood, no eggs. We have honey over here and nectar on the rest of it. This time of the year it's kind of bad with the bees around here because they have no nectar flow because it's so hot and there's really nothing growing to put it off. Now this one here has larvae, brood, eggs, little honey. Same thing with this side. Side here has brood and nectar. Not brood, nectar, brood and larvae and eggs. Eggs are out here, brood is in here. No bugs. No bugs. I'm trying to make a playlist on all my hives now that I go through. So if you see something on the hive you're wondering about, you can always back it up, go to playlist, and see how they were doing. This one here has a beetle. We're infested. Tricky little sucker. We got him though. Okay, what we got here now? We have brood, we have eggs, we have larvae, and they're building it. Still no queen. And no bugs other than that one beetle. They've eaten all their peppermint candy. People ask me what the peppermint candy's for. I use peppermint candy for it helps control the beetles. Now you can't just put peppermint candy in there and expect it to take care of all the beetles. You have to check your check your hive once in a while. I like to say every 2 weeks for mine. 10 days, 2 weeks. Some of them once a day. Twice a day, every day. You got to check for the beetles. You got to get rid of what you can. If you've got a lot of beetles, you need to change the boxes and the bottom board, because the beetles get in all the cracks and everything, lay eggs, and the bees can't control them. If you've got 5 frames of bees in a 10 frame box, you need to get rid of some frames, because the bees can't take care of everything. This one here has some honey, some nectar, some larvae. Okay, honey's on your right. The brood, as you can see it, it's got some larvae around that, and it has nectar and honey. No bugs. Queen may have gone to the bottom because she knows I was up here. This one here they're still working on. That's a brood frame. Has a little nectar in it. They're working it. And they'll use it when they need it. We have one more for this box. And that's the worker brood frame with nectar. And they'll fill it when they get a chance with honey. Put that back in. Slide them all back over. Put this frame back to where it was at. Tell you what we're going to do. We can take this frame and put it right here. Is that a good idea, Sam? I don't know, but this is what we do around here. I can't learn unless I do different things. And I can't learn if y'all don't leave me comments on what y'all think about this stuff. And everybody needs more than one teacher. And you have to listen to, let's check this thing. There they are. For you people that like close-ups, there they are. I like my girls. Okay. Back to what we were doing now. And if you like close-up, let me know. If you don't like close-up, let me know. And we'll find out who wins what we do. This one here is an empty frame, I think. Yep. This is the frame that we put in there. And it's a worker brood frame. This here is a frame that we built. Foundation they're working on, sorta, kinda. You see them up at the top of that, and you can see the where they're walking around, and they're scoping out and measuring and deciding. They need some more baby brood in here, because the babies, they get a certain age and they put out more wax on their back than the older bees, I think. And if I'm wrong, y'all let me know now. This one here has brood, some larvae, some nectar, maybe eggs. You may have left here one up top though. Same thing on that. Don't see the queen, but it has brood on it. It has a little bit of larvae on it. It has a little honey, a little nectar. I don't see much pollen, and they won't make the bees unless they have pollen. And the way things are going around here, the only pollen they have is grass, mainly grass anyway. I'm sure there's other things out there. I don't see nothing. We have some trees with some flowers on it. But anyway, that's the only, that's why I give them pollen patties. This one has brood. They're building the frame. There's festooning down here, which festooning means they build in the foundation. They use their little, and there's the white queen. Pretty girl. White queen, that means she's overwintered 1 year. born last year. We've made splits off of this box and a whole other stuff. This one has a little capped brood, a few drones. Okay, this side here has larvae. Eggs. Brood. Bottom's clean. Frame down. Push it towards each other. Move. Get the bees out the little wing thing there. There we go. Seeing how that's where the queen was at, we don't want to hurt her. Maybe she'll stay downstairs and build some more or lay some more eggs. Frame here. Laid up with brood. Laid up both sides, capped brood. And this is today's first day of August, not June anymore. Y'all can start watching out for some swarms. Check your hives, and if you see a bunch of drone brood, see this one doesn't have any drone brood in it. It has a few drones. This one here has some nectar, some pollen, some brood. It's a good frame too. So what they need is some food. So I will give them some food. You gonna get out or you gonna stay in? There you go. When the nectar stops coming in and the pollen stops coming in, this one here has some pollen. That's pollen on both sides. That's a good frame for pollen. Y'all see that? I had to turn it right. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is push them all back over. The bottom is clean. The queen is in there. She's walking around. She's laying eggs. She has eggs and pollen in both of the brood boxes. What we do if the hive is going hungry, which this one here will be doing real quick with no more resources than they have, we have to feed them. If you don't feed them, they could cannibalize their brood. We're going to feed them pretty good here. People ask me, how many peppermint candies do you put on each one? Well, different amounts for different ones. This one here, I'm going to put 4 on the bottom. And what I do is I put them right on top of the frame. Some of them, sometimes I'll drop through the sides so it goes all the way to the bottom, because that's where beetles hang out too. But the beetles, the bees, they eat the pollen of peppermint. We give them pollen yet. They eat the peppermint, and then they go down and they feed the babies what they eat. And it smells like peppermint. And I believe that gets rid of beetles. I can't say I know because I don't know yet. Pretty sure. But I don't know how many I'd have if I didn't use the peppermint. But Bob Walker of Walker Bee Ranch told me about it. He got it from one of the people he knows. And it's just getting to be a good thing now. We don't want that one there. Get it over here. There we go. Top the bee. There you go, girl. And I use it in all of mine now. Which I think is a good thing. Center your frames up. Now this one I'm going to give them peppermint. Now if I come back and the peppermint is still on there, I don't give them any. But they've done assumed all this. But anyway, they eat it and they feed it to the babies. The babies don't like, the beetles don't like peppermint. So they don't hang around, they don't like the smell of it. And I believe that once they feed the babies the peppermint, it'll keep the mites out of the brood chamber with the babies, the eggs and stuff. And that way you don't get any beetles. Any mites, or overabundant of mites. Iosilic acid anyway. Iosilic acid anyway. And so I don't know which is which and what is what. But I know I don't have many. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Somebody out there can tell me another way of doing it better. Hey, I'm a good listener. As long as we're talking about bees, some people send me messages. I don't know what they're talking about. You want to talk bees? You can talk other things. Tell me about your family if you want to, or your dog, or whatever. Talk about bees too, though. Ooh, there you go. Can't save them all. But we're gonna put the honey super back on. We're not gonna put any pollen up here, but we are going to. Oh, another thing people ask me about peppermint candy is if it makes the honey taste like peppermint. Well, no. I've never tasted peppermint in my honey. I don't have any people telling me they taste peppermint in the honey. So I'd say no. And even if you had peppermint taste in the honey, would that be good or bad? I know some people put flavoring in their honey. That's not what we do here. I don't do that. If I want honey, I want honey. We're going to double deck their feeder. We're going to put them 2 big bowls. We're going to fill them both up with sugar water because they need it. Now my belief too is that you feed them sugar water. Some people says, well, they mix it with the honey. No, the people mix it with the honey. It's kind of like our government. We have a good government. We just have bad politicians. What does that got to do with anything anyway? The honey they use, the sugar they use for, the sugar water syrup they use for building foundations, feeding the babies, feeding themselves. Now the nectar that comes in, they store and they'll cap it. But a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll get a frame of what they call honey because it will be half capped, and they say, oh, that's honey. That's not honey. It's not honey until the whole thing is capped. Now in the old days, what we used to do is we didn't have all these meters and everything to check it, which I use a meter now too. But they used to take the frame of honey and turn it on its side and just shake it. And if fluid came out, it wasn't ready. They didn't care how much of it was capped. And that's about what I do too. And I use the meter. It needs to be at least 18 or below moisture for it to be considered honey. Most of mine is somewhere between 16, 17. We try to get it, you know. We let ours get capped, so it's down to about 17, 16. I have had some that was 15, but very little. But this is it. Hope y'all enjoyed. Give us a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share. And y'all have a marvelous week ahead of us.